Well, we are out here to take some elevations and some plots for a field tile job. And today we happen to have some freezing rain. So the kids are off school. I got some good help, don't I? You ready
I'm the only one here.
You're the only one here, just me and you?
Yeah.
Yep, just me and you. Well, let's go take some elevations so we can lay out this field tile. What do you think?
Okay.
Sound good?
Dad,
Well, we have our laser set up here. This is what I believe to be sort of a central point where we're going to have a couple of connections. You can see how there's a valley that runs down through there, and that valley actually feeds literally right there where the Jeep is sitting is the outlet. At that outlet, there's a pipe that goes underneath the county road that the Jeep is sitting on, and there's a ditch that runs over and all the way down through there. So we're going to run an 8-inch main from that ditch, and we're going to come up this swell here, or this valley, and there's probably going to be a riser in there somewhere. There is some washout issues where there's a lot of surface water coming down through there, which is why we're going to put in an 8-inch. We're going to tee off of it and put a riser in over there, I believe, and then continue that 8-inch all the way up to this point where the field kind of starts to level out. You see that fence post over there about 100 yards from us. That's the property line. And I do believe we've got to run some tile up through there. But you can see how much water holds in this field. And this is what we're trying to mitigate. Everywhere you see ice, obviously used to be water. And kind of right here where we're at is a decent pocket of water. And then it appears as though the field runs uphill through Reese. And then on the other side, there's another county road. And I believe it's going to fall back off. So we're going to run a 6-inch line all the way out to that road, and that may actually feed this way and discharge on that end as well. That's what we're here to check. I know we have less elevation at the county road. What I don't know is if we have the proper elevation to come up, turn, and go all the way over there by that telephone pole, power line pole, should I say, not a telephone pole, but power line pole. There's an orange riser to the left of that power line pole, about right there. That riser actually feeds tile that goes that way, and we're wanting to drain all of this field with a 6-inch line coming over, turning 90, and running all the way to the end of that other end of this field. And then we're going to take a bunch of 4-inch feeders off of that, because the local farmer, the property owner, has confirmed over the years of previous farming, when they plowed this field, it actually has some high spots and low spots that run across it, because they plowed it and turned the dirt over either this way or turned the dirt over that way. So what this field ended up with was a whole bunch of peaks and valleys like this all the way across it. His concern is if we just run one 6-inch line all the way to the other end of the field there, as previously stated, all the way to that end of the field, and then turn 90, there's still going to be a lot of areas in here that catches water. So this 6-inch line is going to be the main leg that comes over and feeds the 8-inch line. And then we'll pull 4-inch all the way from over there, 4-inch, and we'll start cutting a 45-degree angle, if you will. Those humps running this way, we'll run our 4-inch at a 45 across them multiple times all the way out through here that feed that 6-inch, and then we'll also kick some to the right. So this entire field will almost be grid tiled, but it's not quite a grid tiling. I've got to lay it all out yet, but I'm pretty confident we're still going to be 100 feet in between each 4-inch pipe that feeds the 6-inch pipe. Not 100% certain on that, but I believe we're going to be close to that after walking this field. And as stated, I know we've got natural drainage this way. We're going to have to kick some 4-inch pipes off of that 8-inch main leg also to capture this corner of the field. But we do have some set points. This tree on the corner and that tree down there actually marks the property line that runs out this way. And then it turns 90 at this clump of trees and runs that way to the county road. There's actually some fence posts down through there. Those green with the white top fence posts. So we've got to mitigate the water in this entire area, but we can't cross that property line. So we're going to have a certain point that we can only plow up to before the dozer ends up on the other property. So we'll have to stop those pipes maybe a little bit short. But the goal for right now that Reese and I have to achieve is, does that climb up and does it continue to climb to that corner? So if it doesn't, we may have to run this pipe that way and some of this pipe this way. But just judging off of standing here, I believe we're in a low point in the field.
Yeah,
And I believe that's going to be higher. What'd you find? You find some ice?
This is really thick ice.
Really thick. I don't think that's really thick,
It's not
but it does
thick.
have some thickness to it.
Yeah. Just a
Right?
little bit.
All right, Reese, you going to be a good cameraman today?
I've never done a camera before.
Well, that's time for you to learn then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what we don't want, look, while you're standing there, we don't want the camera going all kinds of crazy and all over the place because it just makes it hard for the viewers. Because now, now it gives them motion sickness because the camera's moving everywhere. So you got to hold the camera pretty steady, okay?
Okay.
And we're gonna shoot it right here at the laser. We're gonna see what the elevation is. We do have it set, so we actually know what that is. We know that right here at the laser we are 3 foot 8.5 inches. That really doesn't matter a whole lot other than, Reese, we want to know when we get to the other end of this field,
We're going all the way over there?
all the way over there. I'm gonna walk your legs off today.
I'm gonna run fast.
We got to find out if it's less than 3 foot 8.5 inches over there, and how much less is it? You know why? Water runs uphill, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Can water run uphill?
No.
What? So it runs
Yeah.
downhill, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Runs downhill.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that that is uphill all the way on that end compared to where our laser is right here. And then guess what? Then we get to go all the way over there by that big old power line pole and make sure that that's taller than where we are.
Something that's going down.
We do know that's going down.
To the Jeep
Why do we know that?
because we walked up it. Cause we.
That's
walked
the only
up a
reason
little
why you
bit.
know, or is it because there was water running out right over there?
There was like a little ditch.
Yeah, and there's water in it, wasn't there?
Just a little bit. Though.
So we know that that's downhill, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go check. You want to go the longest way?
That is thick ice.
That is thick ice. Hey, Mr. Squirrel. I need you to pay attention. There's not really a squirrel. Just your mind is finding squirrels everywhere, okay? Do we want to go all the way to the furthest point? Or do we want to go to the shortest point and then go get in the Jeep and drive over to the longest point?
I think we should go to the longest point first.
You want to walk to the longest point? Instead of going to the shortest point and checking our dimension, then walking back to the Jeep and driving to the longest
Well,
point?
there's one thing.
Uh-oh, what?
This, if we could fall over this instead of just driving over them. And
We're not driving in the field.
You just said that.
No, that road where the Jeep is at is the same road that's right over there. So we can drive on the road and leave the laser sitting here. Does that sound like a good idea?
We can drive around.
You know what? I think I'm tired of waiting on you to make a decision. We're going to walk
This way.
to that point, and we're going to check the furthest point, and we're going to walk our way back to make sure everything stays higher to this point. Then we're going to get in the Jeep, and we're going to drive over to the longest point on the road. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Now we're going to check this spot.
Okay.
That's where the laser was down there.
Yeah.
If it's lower, we're going to go like this. So that means this is taller than that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what we want. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Don't fall.
I know.
Keep up.
Okay. I'll try.
Are you a good camera boy or not?
Yeah.
Don't fall.
I know. Oh. The camera's shaking like heck. We're not that bad. So, I think we're good.
I should be videoing you videoing. You can see yourself. You're running like this. Bam!
Ah!
You white. Down. Get up before you get wet and cold.
Got stink.
Just adjust it back. You're good. Hey, guess what? You caught that on camera.
And they can see me when I fell too. They can see my face.
Jump it again. Just be sure. You ready? Oh, it's way down there.
No.
Show them all the ice in this corner.
Holy.
Right, so this is what we're trying to evacuate. You can see how much water's on this side as well. And our laser's way over there. So we're wanting to run that 6-inch main line. Again, this is a property corner where that fence post is. So we're wanting to run that 6-inch main line down this edge, and then it'll turn and go towards the Jeep and then run straight across that field all the way to the other end where you see those power lines running.
I was trying to be the best cameraman I could.
Trying to be the best cameraman you can?
Yeah, I'm trying.
All right,
Trying to
see
do
if we can get it.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be down here somewhere.
Ooh.
All right, so we're here.
Mhm.
Oh, where's it at? Right there. Right there is where we're at.
Yeah.
So we're
Pretty far away. I can't.
2 feet.
Guys,
Let's see.
if you can see it all the way over there, it's like that little white thing. It's
Alright, you
all
ready?
the way in the cornfield.
Remember, we're 3 foot 8.5.
Okay, so
Okay, now you
5.
got to step out of the way of the laser, and you got to point the camera at the receiver. Camera's just going everywhere. We'll have to edit that out. So we're 1'10".
1'10".
So that's basically 1.5 inches short of 2 feet. Meaning, from this point right here where we're standing,
Yeah.
we are 2 foot taller than back there at the laser.
Can you hold this?
So if the pipes are 2 foot in the ground at the laser where we start to, we know we get elevation change down there.
Yeah.
That means we'll be 4 feet in the ground there.
Yeah.
And 2 feet in the ground here. Do you know why that matters?
Why?
Because the plow will only plow 5'2". So we have an entire foot of extra earth that we don't have to go down if we don't want to. What do you think about that? Huh? All right, so those are the specifics that I'm out here looking for. I know the plow, just for simple mathematics in your head, will go 5 foot deep.
Ugh.
When these farmers break this ground up and they run their ripper shanks through it when it gets too hard and they want to break it up deeper, They typically do that at an 18-inch depth.
Oh.
So we always want our pipes to be 2 feet in the ground if we can get it. Having 2 foot of elevational change, the field's pretty flat. We walked a very long way. It's at least 200 yards, probably even more like probably 400 yards, but 2 feet in the ground here. 2 foot of difference in elevational change means we'll be 4 foot in the ground at the laser, and that's when everything starts to taper downhill. So you get your elevational change over on that end by the road because it naturally pitches down to the ditch. Whereas here, we have to create the elevational change by going from 4 feet to 2 feet, and that ensures in this, let's just call it 600 feet, that ensures that we have 2 feet of fall in 600 feet of run. I'll let you guys do that math. Now what we got to do is just go down through here and confirm that it continually falls off. I'm pretty confident it's going to. And then we're going to get to a point where it picks back up. Prior to that point, we're going to turn 90 and head back over to the laser. What do you think? You ready to walk some more?
No.
Why you got a hole in your teeth?
Shut up.
All right, I'm gonna give you the camera back and let's walk down this way. So now we are basically in line with our laser where I believe we're gonna turn.
I see it.
See how fast you move that camera? Nice and easy. There you go, that's better. So you can see the laser now, right?
Yeah, it's like a red light. It's like.
So this is where I believe we're going to turn and run that trunk, that 6-inch main line all the way across this field. And we remember we were 2 foot higher over there. Look where your camera's pointing, at my feet. We were 2 foot higher over there, okay? Now if we check this spot, yep, that corner 2 feet. Now if we check this spot, okay,
Ooh.
we're an inch lower.
So we need to go like 1.
See that? That right there is level. So this is the point where we need to turn, and then we end up being 4 foot deep. So this is going to be a deep spot to plow.
It's black.
It always turns black. This will be a deep spot to plow, and we'll start 4 foot deep, and we'll come up here, which is almost level, right? And then we'll start shallowing up, and we'll end up 2 foot deep up there because the field naturally runs to the laser. Even though we've got these pockets of water, this is how we're going to drain it. So at least some elevational change going towards the laser is the hope from here to there. We don't need a whole lot because this is going to be a short run. You guys can see the valley starting right in there. So that's actually where that 8-inch trunk's going to come up, and then we'll tee off that 8-inch and we'll run 6-inch that way and then 6-inch towards us. So let's check it down through here to the laser. You ready? So right over there by that fence post is where Reese and I were just at, and it was basically the same level as where the laser is sitting. When we come here, you guys can see right over there, there's a pocket of ice right in there. That pocket of ice is where it starts to wash. So that 8-inch line will come from where the Jeep's at up to there. We'll probably kick in a dry dam and a riser to catch this surface water. And then we'll come on up with that 8-inch to here because we're actually
About
4 inches lower right here, which is going to ensure that that 6-inch line climbs to that end. This is where we'll have that 4 foot depth. Yes, that ends up making it 4 foot 4 inches compared to the other corner behind us. Not concerned about 4 inches. And then this 8-inch line will just run downhill. We won't even necessarily need the laser chaser for this section here. We might even be able to just drag chain this up to this point and then kill that 8-inch line somewhere right around in here and tee off and run over and around and then run all the way to the other end of that field. So now what we got to do is go to the other end and make sure that we have 2 feet of elevational increase from this point that the laser is set at to that end of the field. You ready to go get in the Jeep?
Yeah.
All right, let's drive it. You're freezing. Where'd your sock cap go?
In here?
There's a sock cap there or not?
I think it dropped it.
Huh. I think
No.
someone wasn't paying attention. So now guess what you get to do?
Huh.
Walk all that again to go find it.
No.
Go find your sock cap.
By myself?
By yourself. I'll stand right here and wait on you. See you,
Yeah.
bye. Take off. I think you guys can see Reese Man over there walking down the field edge. He learned a valuable lesson today. He said, Dad, I'm getting hot. It's not hot. It's 27 degrees. But he decided he was going to take his sock cap off. Now, as you guys saw, he lost his sock cap. Oh, looky there. Somebody found it. So we'll see what lesson he learned when he gets back. Come on back. Come on. What lesson did you learn today, Reese?
I don't know.
It's not as hot out here as what you thought it was. Your ears are as red as your sunglasses, which means they're cold, right?
I'm not cold at all.
What did you say when we went across the field?
No.
I'm hot. I'm going to take sock cap off.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. So what are you going to do with that sock cap now? The lesson you learned is it's not that cold out here, or not that hot out here. So keep it on your head or put it in a pocket to where it won't fall out. My recommendation is put it on your head, and I guarantee you know when it falls off.
It fell out when it was in my pocket.
I know it, because you didn't shove it in there all the way. The lesson you learned is keep your sock cap on your head because it's cold. Right? Look at that. I guarantee you know when it falls off your head. That's what I'd do too. All right, let's get back to work. Well, Reese, what do you think? Do you think we're higher or lower over here?
Higher.
Think we're higher?
Yeah.
Maybe it's lower than that.
It is?
Well,
It's lower?
we're definitely not lower here. So remember, 3 foot 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you were right. We're definitely higher.
Yes.
That's 1'4". So we're 2'4.5" higher here.
Mm-hmm.
So my original concern about this field falling off on this side is not the case. It continues to climb. So this 6-inch main line that comes all the way up through here with the
All the way up this way?
Yep, the 4-inch will go all the way over there towards the house. This 6-inch line will feed all the way that way, so all the 4-inch lines can run at a 45 this way and a 45 that way. And then now that we're over here, the only concern that I have is what we're going to do right there between us and that grain bin. It does fall off towards the house. But when I was out here with the farmer, he's not as concerned about that little bitty section as much as he is all of this area out here, because you can definitely see the amount of water that stands in this field, and it's quite interesting. It's not just corn rows that are causing it. You get over here and there's a good 2 to 3 inches of depth difference as to right here off the edge of the corn from where it's been plowed years and years and years. This farmer doesn't plow it. So that gets the boots on the ground elevational checks with the laser. Now we got to go to the drawing board and draw this entire thing out and confirm that it lays out like the field lays. And honestly, this field is a perfect candidate for field tile. It's going to make for a nice field tile process. And I know you guys haven't seen us do 4-inch. That's going to be very similar to tying 6 to 8, since we're tying 4 to 6, but there's going to be a lot more of them. And once we get back to the computer, I'll explain that and show you the reasons why. All right, everybody, I've been excited about doing this layout. We haven't done a field tile quote for a little bit. Well, actually since last year, should I say. And earlier in the video, you saw Reese and I taking some elevations to kind of ensure that you guys understand the location in which the laser was. I'm going to add a bullet right here. That is going to be the notes. Let's see, title. laser location. Oops. Got to be able to spell, Matt. And we're just going to put an exclamation point to that. If you guys also remember, we went all the way over to this end right here, and we did confirm that that corner is 2 feet higher. That's inches, not feet. 2 feet higher. Let's put 2 foot up. That makes it nice and simple. And then we ran down to this side of the property. And again, right here, we confirmed that it was 2 foot 4 inches, but we're gonna stay at 2 foot. And now for the fun part of this, we know this upper bullet, top and right balloon was 2 foot higher. We know the middle balloon was the laser, and we know the bottom balloon was 2 foot plus in elevation higher. This is where I kind of really enjoy the HuntStand app. You guys are going to be able to see the different colorations, which is going to in turn mean different pipe diameters. And we're going to lay this thing out together. So let's get that started. We know for a fact that we are going to have an 8-inch main. We're going to discharge right here. That 8-inch main is going to run 720 feet. That is the length of one roll of 8-inch pipe. And again, remember everybody, I don't get these dimensions perfect, but we are going to get it close. We're going to save that one. We're going to make that one the dark orange, and that is going to be 8-inch main. Then off of that 8-inch main, we are going to also run a 6-inch line that will come from this corner, run along the property line, which this is the property line right here. And after I draw this 6-inch, I will place the property line marker so that you guys can fully understand the extremities of the property. And that 6-inch feeder is going to run all the way from one side to the other. And we all must keep in mind, oh man, I did that. We all must keep in mind this pipe is actually going to flow 2 directions. Right there where I just crossed that 8-inch main will actually be a T that will allow us to run the section I'm drawing right now. Will run from the crosshair to the green dot on the left. That's the way the water will flow, and then it will go into that 8-inch line and go out to the ditch. The longer 6-inch line that you see there below the middle red balloon, that will actually run from the bottom of the screen up to the T where the 8-inch runs into the 6-inch. So that 6-inch line will run 2 directions, and that will make perfect sense here in just a minute. We're going to make that one the light yellow. This one is 6-inch. Now, isn't that awesome? Look at the coloration difference. We now know the dark orange is the 8-inch and the light yellow is the 6-inch. Now I also want to add the outer extremities of this property. I'm going to add a line here. It runs down this county road. Well, not all the way down, sorry. It runs to there. This fence row that you see here is actually a property line. You guys saw that earlier in the video as well, but this gives you the bird's eye view, and then it runs over to here. Runs all the way back to this corner, to the north, then across, down at an angle. Now, I will say this. This individual does own this as well, so maybe we should mark this out. We're just not putting field tile in this area. It's going to come over, jump back up, He also owns this brown field on the right, but again, we are not going to put field tile in this area at all. And then it'll come over, let's just connect it back to itself. We will save that. We're going to go ahead and make that the dark orange also, because it really doesn't matter at this point in time. And we're going to call that prop line, which stands for property line. We know for a fact, per the property owner, there is a current line that runs into this ditch where the crosshair is now. Oops, I didn't hit the add button. And it runs up out of that ditch. And his assumption is that little riser that you guys saw over here in this area, his assumption is that line runs up to that riser. And it has a couple of feeders coming off of it, but nothing major. We're going to list this one as we're going to make it red because we're not going to do much with this one, but that is current. I shouldn't say pipe, I should say tile. We will, however, connect a 6-inch line to that pipe and run it full length of this field to the road. We may ultimately go across the road, but right now what we're quoting is coming to the road. This is also going to be a 6-inch line, and just for everyone's reference, the red line up above there, his assumption is that's 6-inch. He knows it's 6-inch somewhere. He just doesn't know if it's 6-inch to 4-inch and then to the riser, or if it's 6-inch all the way. So we are going to have the understanding with this quote that we may need to come over into this area and splice onto 6-inch and bring 6-inch all the way over. But for quoting purposes, we're going to consider that a 6-inch line. We're going to connect to basically just shy of where that riser is. That riser is kind of right over in here. We don't like to put a riser at an intersection point like that. We want a little spur coming off of that main line for the riser, and then these two flow free just in case at the bottom of that riser where the Hickenbottom tees go, if it does get clogged up, it doesn't clog up this entire system. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. You guys have seen us lay several thousand feet of field tile, and all of that field tile has been 6-inch and 8-inch. As you see here, we are going to put some 6 and 8-inch in. However, on this job, we are also going to install 4-inch. So this property owner does not have any surface water that is going to go into what I am drawing currently. The reason he does not have any surface water is these fields, as you saw in the video, are considerably flat. With that being the case, we don't have a need on the 4-inch for any risers and or dry dams within this field. So on this side over here, we're actually going to put in 3 4-inch feeder lines that will feed that 6-inch line that runs down to the ditch. Finish drawing these out, and then I will explain the rest that's going to happen in this field as well. I've only got one more that I'm going to put here. The farmer and I did go over this field together. I did not video that. However, we sat down in his barn. It was a rather cold day, and he gave me an idea of what he was wanting this field tile job to look like. We then walked all of these fields prior to Reese and I taking elevations. I kind of had a general idea of how I wanted to lay this thing out, but the elevations confirmed it. And this field is, realistically, it is optimum for field tile to be installed. Now, with all that being said, this area here, north to south, is how it gets planted. And for years, it was plowed north to south. So all across here, and I believe I explained it earlier in the video, but I'm not doing these two videos at the same time, so my memory evades me here, but there are windrows, if you will, of dirt where there are high spots, low spots, high spots, low spots, high spots, low spots, all the way across this entire field, including this small section over here. So the farmer's thought is, if we come off of this 6-inch, it's not the main leg, but let's just call it the 6-inch main for conversation piece, and we run these 4-inch feeders at a 45-degree angle, the hope, and I do believe this is going to work, and I believe it's going to work great. The hope is that this field has a natural pitch to it. If you guys remember, I'm going to say it again. I know I've said it before already in this video. The red balloon above where I am drawing these lines now is 2 foot higher than the balloon in the middle on the left. So the water should naturally head this direction to a certain point, and then from that point it's going to head this direction, or in some cases in this small corner, this direction. So if we run these lines at a 45-degree angle, the water should actually feed this long 4-inch line consistently because of those windrows where the water is setting in the valley and running off of the peak. And these aren't feet that we're talking here. This is inches. However, running that line at a 45-degree angle like you see here, as that water comes from here and runs this direction, it's going to hit this pipe and it's going to enter that pipe, and we're going to ensure this high side flows the water this direction. So as it catches that water, it's going to send it to that 6-inch because it is running across those peaks and valleys. And there's going to be a lot of these 4-inch. Oh shoot. I do have the numbers on total footage. There's 4 rolls of 4-inch that will be installed in this field by someone. We do not have this job yet. I have sort of finalized the quote. This layout has to ensure that my assumptions are correct. But as we lay this out, the total footage that I believe we're going to have is what I should have said, is 4 rolls of 4-inch, 2 rolls of 6-inch, and 1 roll of 8-inch. That's an assumption. We'll take some dimensions here in a minute to confirm that. But for drawing's sake, you're going to get a very good visual of the thought process on how to drain this field. And I need to make sure that I get these pretty close since we're going to be taking footages off of them. 4-inch again. Another 4-inch. You can kind of see these low spots in the field right here where water has set for a long time. This may not be the exact location that we take every pipe. However, it's not going to be far off, and this is going to get everything that we need to be able to quote and get a good estimate to this farmer and be able to ensure that he has a very good understanding as to the mitigation needs based on how his field is truly laid out. I'm trying to remember my walk here. Pretty sure this is where the next one goes. Four-inch again. And one more 4-inch. And the other thing to keep in mind here, folks, this is for estimate purposes. Once I present this to the farmer, if he decides that he wants more tile, by all means, we can definitely put in more tile. That's not the concern. I'm wanting to get a general cost put together so that he can understand roughly what it'll cost to put, I shouldn't say roughly, what it will cost to put this amount of field tile in this field. Now, he may choose to do more, he may choose to do less, he may choose multiple different options that we will supply to him. And I actually missed one there. Trying to talk and draw at the same time. Forgot one. I believe there should be one more in between. Yes, there should be. And there should also be another one right here. Oops, forgot to hit the add button again. This 4-inch here will actually connect to the 8-inch. They make special tees for that. And again, the reason that 4-inch will work here is there is no surface water that we are going to send into this pipe. The surface water will absorb into the ground and then enter into the pipe, which ensures it is evacuated and sent the proper direction. We do have to do some interesting things down here in the bottom end of this field. There is some existing tile over in through here, but it's old clay tile, and we're not necessarily trying to salvage it, but we are hoping that we don't damage it. But we are going to run a perimeter tile out through here. Right now we've got the thought process that this is going to be 4-inch. This is the only one that may change to 6-inch that is a feeder line other than here. And the reason for that is if we need to add some tile out in this area, we're not 100% certain we would want to add 4 to 4. So this may turn into 6-inch, but for now, and for quoting purposes, we are going to quote that as a 4-inch line. And again, over in here is tile as well, kind of runs down the edge of this road. You guys saw the ditch that we were parked by right here off the county road. So we're going to have to run this one at a slight bit of an angle. And then we're going to try to catch this entire side. And if you guys remember from earlier in the video, right here is a natural drainage way that goes into a riser and evacuates some of this edge, but it doesn't do the proper job. So we're going to run this 4-inch right up to it and ensure that we evacuate all the water that ends up standing right there at the end of that 4-inch line. We've got one more, I believe, 4-inch. I believe we talked about putting one right here. Pretty certain on that, actually. Oops, forgot to hit the add button again. I do that frequently, don't I? Well, shoot, that was twice. And this one's going to run up. You guys remember Reese fell right over in here, I believe. But just before that, there was water standing out in this field, all in this area here. And it didn't make it to that ditch that I was showing where we're going to run the 8-inch up through there and place a dry dam. I'll draw that out here in just a second. But this is going to be another 4-inch line. And then we get to where we do have surface water. Between this 4-inch line entering into the 8-inch line and this 4-inch line entering into the 8-inch line, the wash that comes down through this field starts to pick up and get decently deep. It's not feet deep, but it is definitely inches deep. And we want to mitigate that water coming down through here and picking up speed and washing this out. You can kind of see the same thing over here, which this 4-inch line should slow a lot of that down. But we know I'm pretty confident, and the farmer is not opposed to throwing it in on the price, but I'm pretty confident we need to add a dry dam right here, which will allow us to do a couple of different things. Oops, can't spell. That's going to allow us to slow basically all the water that feeds this washout, and it will also allow us to kick off of this 8-inch line and come over here with a really short T and put in a riser to take all of that water and meter it underground all the way to this ditch. We've got one more line to draw out here. I remember we have one line that he was wanting to throw back here off of this corner. And then we can start taking some measurements to see how much pipe we're truly going to have. Again, my guesstimate is 4 rolls of 4-inch, 2 rolls of 6-inch, and 1 roll of 8-inch, and that's from walking this field and getting some distances. So now let's check all of our 4-inch. .500, and let's call that one 22 feet. Wrote that down. Now let's check this one. 715. $679. Ooh, that's a bad number. 666. I don't like that number. Let's make that 667. What do you say? All right, that's that side and that one. I'm just going through these quick here, writing these down as the dimensions spit out at the top left corner there. And no, I do not write 819.66 feet like this one here, 784. They're not a whole lot more. They're all pretty close till we get to this side, which is real close to that property line. So they're just naturally going to be shorter because we don't have as far to run. And just so everybody's aware, remember from earlier in the video, this entire area down this 6-inch line stayed wet, which is why I'm placing it here. On top of the reason, one 8-inch roll gets us from the ditch all the way to this point. So it actually worked out exceptionally well. And this 6-inch might end up 40 feet this way, but it can't go any further without us having to buy a second roll of 8-inch or sections of 8-inch, which that's not really preferred. But let's get back to measuring here. All these over here are pretty close too, but like again, that one there is going to be 185. Now let's go to the top. And this is another thing I like about HuntStand. I can click at that second green dot there, and the feet keep counting. And will we make a perfect 90? No. It'll be a radius, so this will probably end up being, I'll bump this one up. Instead of being 348, since I know right down in here, this is going to be a long radius, which is going to add footage. I'll probably call that one 400 feet just for safe measure. If we end up with 50 extra feet of pipe, I don't think anybody's going to get mad. Now I'm talking. I hope I didn't measure that one twice. I may have. And before I officially call it the footage, I'm going to measure this again whenever I'm not talking to you all and jumping back and forth, losing concentration. All right, so that's all of our 4-inch. We've got it written down. Now let's measure our 6-inch. Oh yeah, that right there confirms my guesstimate of 2 rolls of 6-inch. That's definitely needed. And we know this was 720 feet already. And we need just a little bit of 6-inch for the riser down here. So let me go over my math here real quick. Pull out the calculator. This is the 4-inch calculation. And we are 3,200 feet per roll. 3,200 times 4 is 12,800. Yeah, 4 rolls gets it. 4 rolls is actually a little extra. Not a lot extra, but a little. Don't think we need a 5th roll, that's for sure. We don't need an extra 3,200 feet. So we're gonna call that one 4 rolls of 4-inch, 2 rolls of 6-inch, 1 roll of 8-inch, and then we've got several connections. One thing that everybody needs to keep in mind is this is a T, this is a T, this is a T, this is a T, that's a T, that's a T, that's a T, that's a T. So everywhere the purple lines meet any other color, it does require us to take the excavator, dig down to the 6-inch line, and we have to make a big enough opening for a person to get down in there. And again, remember, this thing's only 2 feet in the ground, so we're not digging deep. But get in here, install a T, and then drop the plow in the starter hole and run out to this end, cap that 4-inch, come over here and do it again and again and again. So in here, the reason I'm putting these 4-inch lines basically in the same area is we will dig a hole to that 6-inch line that is twice the size as this one, because this one will require 2 T's. My thought process here is Mike's going to start somewhere on this side of the 6-inch after he's got all of the mains ran and connected. And then let's just say he starts up here. He'll pop a hole, 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 pop a hole. Y'all get that point. And then he'll come up here with a dozer and he'll run this one. Then he'll come down here and he'll run that one. Then he'll come down here and he'll run that one. Then he'll come down here and he'll run that one. I think that gives you guys a 30,000 foot level understanding of how the field tile will be installed. And then obviously Mike will video this entire process, I am sure. But now that we're talking, I believe the farmer and I got to go back to my notes here real quick. I believe the farmer and I talked about a couple more. Yes, we have got 2 more 6-inch lines. From here to here, it is higher elevation from the starting point to the crosshair. So that water runs from the crosshair to the dot. We cannot capture that with the 4-inch. We do have to capture that with the 6-inch, and we have to put 2 lines, and somewhere down there where the bottom of the V is, the farmer has a 6-inch tile in the ground there. Let me get the crosshair back up here. The Farmer has 6-inch tile that runs somewhere over in here and runs straight down through this area and comes over here and dumps out into this ditch. So we're going to connect these two lines to that to ensure that this corner is evacuated in this direction. So that's why I say the 4 rolls of 4-inch, this 4-inch line might end up back here a little bit. But that right there, everybody, gives you the field tile layout that I will utilize to fine-tune all of my numbers. Now I've got the footages, I've got the layout, and this provides multiple things. A good view for you guys. You have a really, I hope, a really nice understanding of how this field tile will lay in this field, why it's designed this way, and how it's going to work. Not to mention, all I have to do is zoom out, take a screenshot of it, and text it to him, and then he can zoom in and out and look at it and agree or disagree, add a line, take a line out. And then also, this is a print, if you will, for Dirt Perfect. Will he hit this exact dimension if we were to take a dimension from here to there? No. Roughly, the farmer was wanting these. Oh, you know what? Let's just check it. Let's cancel that. Oops, wrong one. Let's add this, and let's see where we're at, because I know what the farmer said he wanted. Look at that. Farmer said he was hopeful that we would end up with about 200 foot in between. Excuse me. And we are at 200 feet. The reason that we are trying to shoot for that distance is this is a starting point. If this evacuates 90% of the water, he will not add on to this system. If it evacuates 50% of the water, we still have the ability to come in here and add a line right in between every one of these lines, including this area, all the way up through here, this backfield. I think you guys understand the point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, like, comment, subscribe.